Let me talk to you. I made a few changes to the front end here. First, the main website's not the .com. Or first off, this is app.vibor.ai. The normal .com still works, but eventually it'll redirect here. When you log in, instead of the home page is no longer a choice between a comic and a game. It's now a dashboard for public games here. We got 2 subscriber users. Vibor Game and Unclear Irony in the game room game in Maximus. There's an open room and a closed room. We can see this over here. Those are the scores from last week. That was a fun one. And this one down here. This is a closed room. I need a new message when it's closed. First subscriber once, maybe it says whose it is, stuff like that. But no, this is just getting things ready for when people have their own accounts, their own rooms, their own gameplay sessions. Down here, this is my Dream Booth model. So in this, there's a whole way you can upload 10 to 20 photos of one subject, fine-tune a model on it, and then suddenly you have your own thing you can make from. That was you can prompt on that one instead. Like so, for instance, this account. Oh, I haven't logged into this domain yet. This Unclear Irony account. There's a few models in here of different ones there. I've been like experimenting, trying to make it work. So let's see, what was I looking for? It's not important. And so here you can see there's actually a difference between these. So this says broken. It was designed to not run, right? Like so. Broken is the name of it. It's not like a status. There's only one image inside, created yesterday. I have not started it. It has not been sent into the back end, which ends up costing like, it's like I think they billed me like $250 to let their AI chips sort of process it. I was in a really low res posture right there. I gotta sit up. I'm looking at myself on Twitch, but I can look at myself on OBS. I can do it immediately. So. Just checking out to see who might be in the room. Anyway, so in here, we've got a few different things. So what this does is there's this really cool website called Burmy. This does kind of the same thing. And in this one, you bulk upload a bunch of images. And then it crops it down to 512 by 512 for each one. And then you can download those all as a set to use for your training in a model that you would use elsewhere. Like, so if you had a Dream Booth installation on Automatic 1111 on your own thing, you could do it like that. Now, if you are maybe not interested in becoming an AI pro like the rest of us, accidentally hit play on a YouTube on my phone, then you can use my service called Face Off. And so if you created a new model, it would give you a few pointers here. And so what's notable is that in these Dream Booth fine tunings, there's like 100 parameters. And I have not messed around with all of them to be like an expert at any of it. But I have a very functional sort of standard process to run it from. And so when my back-end service that I use for this AI stuff first offered this, you could only do it off of like, it was either, I think it was off the core Stable Diffusion 1.5 checkpoint, but now I think you can select any of them. I requested that specifically. There was a few other people making requests on the Discord, and I hadn't checked on it since December, and I look back and they're now starting from a specific checkpoint and training on that, which is what you need. That's what you need. If you've played this game, then you see that the open journey one has a very distinct style. The 1.5, pretty good. The 2.0 depends, you know. So being able to mix and match them all has been very effective. But we're looking at this on his account right now. So if we were to make a new one, we would take a bunch of photos, we would drop them in, and they appear the same way they did on that other website. But the difference on this one is that I'll actually let you zoom. Oh yeah, these are actually all too small. So like the height of all these is 500. So each one of these photos comes out as 512 by 512. So if we were to use these, they would all end up zoomed in with some aliasing to make it fit. I think this dolly thing is bigger. Yeah, so this is 1024. So I set a zoom factor so that when it crops it, it'll size it so that it never zooms in to like have an ugly side to it. But it'll let you sort of center on a face, right? Like if you're training Shay, you maybe would want the whole photo. It would have to be a square, so you would like crop it down to visible space. Maybe you wanted to get, it wasn't the photo you wanted, maybe it was the face you wanted. So you would like zoom right in on there, you know, or in this guy. Like it would be a bad idea to do a training with all these. You would kind of want the same guy. I suppose you could do a style fine-tuning of a specific style. Hey, Dancing Horse, what up? I'm sort of walking through the interface I made for this Dream Booth training extension. And so what I had done in the past was put this together, and then when it's done, you hit submit. It uploads, processes all the images, and turns them into a zip file. And so if you, and you can always reaccess it. So if you want to make your own fine tuning after the fact, or even never starting the API that would bill you to create the new model, if you only wanted to use the front end that we have here in order to be able to format your images for training on your own system, that would be available to people who had a subscribed room. And so, for example, this is the Grimes model right here. So I just downloaded that, and unzipping it, it shows these are all the photos that I had trained it with, right? So it created kind of a manic fine-tuning, particularly in this. It doesn't really, this is interpreting it like crazy, as if it's like some sort of spider body kind of thing. But very sci-fi, very fantasy, very fun, very spooky, right? So so these are all the pieces that I had put into this model. I had never taken the final step to actually make it work in the front end until this weekend. And on my local host, it worked, but this label worked, but like it doesn't at the moment. But so you can see this interface is different. There's no drawing mode, and there's no other models. So if you would come here through the dashboard, yeah, there we go. Let's try it out. Links here, and it gives it changes the path to that. So I'll need to add a section so that if you have any trained models, it could go right there. But I had a few examples. Yeah, I don't want any nudity to pop in. A fantasy heavy metal band with extreme costumes, robot with chrome skin singing on stage, heavy metal magazine, 8K octane render. So So that's what's really interesting about these fine tunings is that like when you fine tune the model, like typically to induce that subject, you have to include a keyword, which I've actually sort of removed from it. Like, so to do like the Midjourney style, my app is inserting it into your prompt so that it forces it when you select the different model. But in general, even if you don't have the keyword, it does like a pretty radical transformation to it. So like heavy metal, like created like these like model babes because it had all those Grimes photos in it, even not referencing her as like a subject, right? I don't want, some of these might be misinterpreted as nudity, so I don't want Twitch to get us in trouble, so maybe I shouldn't use this one, but or sell that to children or whatever. But you know, we could try to recreate this: a fantasy heavy metal band with extreme costumes, robot with chrome skin, key. Maybe I shouldn't have called her an alien, but whatever. And so unfortunately, this has to spin up the card, so it's going to take like 3 minutes, like whenever we do it on the drawing mode. Dancing Horse, how was your week? How have you been doing? So it says starting, so we can let that cook for a minute. While we're here, we can go straight into this. Look at that. Dancing Horse is in the room. Shout out. We can hit, and last week, pure domination by the horse household here between Scott Hansen and Mr. Horse and Mrs. Horse. But all good. Nice to have returning champions with us. If we go to new game, we got a whole new setup. Maybe I can check in on this thing periodically. Yeah, it's still cooking. Starting that up. I'm gonna move this to a different window just in case it cooks up something a little too scandalous for the Twitch view. Dancing Horse writes, "It actually shocks me how much the two of you are alike and have similar interests." Interesting. Who is this in reference to? I hope. So far I've spoken about Grimes and your husband. So since I'm not a pop singer, potentially. That's funny. Well, hey, maybe we'll all become yeah, me and Grimes, total besties. I didn't speak in that Twitter space she did the other day, but I am in the group chats with all the guys who are hosting it, so that's fun. Right? But I've actually just started reading some of the books and the whole thing because everything is getting very jargon filled. So like, let's see. So the guys who are hosting that space, they publish a few philosophical principles on this Substack here called Effective Accelerationism.substack.com. And it is very much sort of a reaction to effective altruism in terms of how their approach to artificial intelligence has been panic versus optimism. And most of the people involved in it are into the optimism stuff. But if you look at this, you will see a pretty severe jargon-filled point of view on it. Notably this first one. Life emerged from an out-of-equilibrium thermodynamic process known as dissipative adaptation. See work by Jeremy England. Matter reconfigures itself such as to extract energy and utility from its environment, such as to serve towards the preservation and replication of its unique phase of matter. Now, fundamentally, if your philosophy begins with life as a thermodynamic outcome, as opposed to often, let's just say, that it is so many steps before the emergence of the species, so as to alarm people who want to retain the fundamental philosophy that has been paired more closely with natural selection at the biological observation of evolution and not strictly at the thermodynamic physical level. And so people get a little spooked out. I wanted to be able to make some observations in this realm. So if you look, here's a link by Jeremy England, who describes a new physics theory of life. An MIT physicist proposed the provocative idea that life exists because of the law of increasing entropy drives matter to acquire lifelike physical properties. And if that is taken even further, you can even go to argue an extreme morality in favor of the mass consumption of as much energy as possible in order to drive the emergence of life via this active creation. And so it becomes a fascinating process. I didn't close the room. What's going on? Well, we'll see what happens. Did that show up on someone else's view? That would be a big error if that happened. Holy crap, did I give all of you guys the ability to close the room whenever it's possible? Let's see. Incognito. Apt up. Oh, I appreciate that, Dancing Horse. It's very helpful. So I have to log in. Oh no, I doxed all my passwords. They appear as asterisks. I'm mostly safe. Okay, good. So, there's this button. This is my game room, where it's possible to toggle between open and closed here. And I had a bug just a second ago where this room said it was closed. And I was like, oh no. Is this toggle available to everyone? And so I pulled up this test user, Vibe War Casualty. He can't get there, so. Okay, so while we have a bug, it's not bad news bug, so that's good. So yeah, I've been trying to further understand this like thermodynamic principle of life kind of thing, and so they have that news article there, but the guy also has like a book that was on Audible, and so called "Every Life is on Fire: How Thermodynamics Explains the Origin of Living Things," which seemed pretty interesting. So I bought this today, and I had the biggest surprise when the entire introduction to this book is him making a mission statement that he's going to go through the principles of thermodynamics as a life creationary force through entropy and relate all of those through the tenets of the Hebrew Bible. And so he's constantly interchanging between like Moses' staff becoming a snake into like thermodynamics, the structures of the I never took thermo, honestly. I'm a pretty low grade physics guy. So first law of thermodynamics is you don't talk about thermodynamics. We actually, whenever we had a friend studying for a thermo final, they would be pulling this up to like find like the principles, and like we would edit the Wikipedia entry to be Fight Club laws instead of thermo ones, but they get swapped back over like instantaneously. But first law: conservation of energy. Energy in the system equals energy out of the system. It can go down, won't go up. Anyway. And so I was just so fascinated that this guy who was like making this yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll tell you who the real evil is. The real evil one are all the professors expecting you to buy a book that just summarizes everything that's already on Wikipedia, and if not on Wikipedia, more carefully put on the MIT OpenCourseWare. I did have one professor who literally just taught MIT syllabus at Georgia Tech, because I think the professor at MIT was a friend of his, and so he would just pull his curriculum and just go off that as all the documents. That guy's job was writing algorithms for quantum computers that don't exist yet, and so he was doing the Pythagoras work to like figure out, you know, the length of pi before we had a computer to do all the calculations for us. Just in that order, where he has to sort of sigma the probabilities of like the waveform landscape of quantum possibility, and then for that to turn into coherent compute principle. And his day gig was teaching the rest of us discrete math, like logic gates, yes, no, and or, and whatnot. But he taught it as an honors course. It was only like he just thought of the most fun problems he could think of. So that was a really good one. I wasn't smart enough for it, but he was a great teacher, and it was a very inspirational course. Best way to teach discrete math, which can be, it's not hard. It is fun because it's all gaming, technically, right? Like freshman level electrical engineering is like, here's your logic gates, draw the waveform of each flop of the discrete, you know, logic of the moment that comes out, gets read like this. How would that be represented in like a bitwise register message if it was stored somewhere to like tell you the what's happening. Anyway, you get all these little intro stuff to figure out how systems work, and then you decide what do you want to work on. You know? Usually you work on what the corporation asks you to work on. Found out that one of the new guys at my dance studio, who was there for Viennese Waltz today, VW Day, Vibor, Viennese Waltz, he works in Microsoft, and so I was able to tell him about this game, and we really got into like the dorkiness of everything. Oh, and by the way, we got a result on this thing with the fantasy heavy metal band of Grimes Alien. This looks like sort of a cross between too bad. But what I had an idea. What was the way I was going to twist it? If it were for a 1.5 render. Oh! Painting by Greg Rukowski! What do you got? Yeah, very Kiss. Yeah, heavy metal was probably... this probably doesn't help that says fantasy heavy metal twice. But, Greg Rukowski, what do you got? Greg, you're not going to live this down, Greg. You hate it. You hate that this. You're baked into 1.5. You're going to have to make it illegal for people to stop citing you. Even though you're going to be called from the Lion list and from all the future ones. All of us still on these like legacy systems will remember the days of Greg Rukowski, and many of us... uh-oh. I just asked someone to add someone to a group chat, and she's like, I made you an admin. Do it yourself. I'm like, okay, great. Responsibilities. I am now an admin. Good. 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 add. There we go. Oh, it looks like I sat on this for too long, because now it has to spin back up again. Oh, well. Run wild with the power. Hello, dance brethren. It appears that your unsolicited advertisement for your friend's music lesson services are in violation of this group chat's code, and it shall be removed from our shared postings. Have a good day, and best of luck with the side hustle. Just in different forums next time. Which room? Yeah. Do the game room. So if you went to vibor.com/game, right here, it'll take you to the game room. But I think I got it. Sweet. Right here is a demo of the Dream Booth training model. Welcome, uppercase. Nice to have you back. If I return here. Oh, and one other thing that I haven't mentioned yet. I don't know if this is the case, but I saw online. Very exciting news. Which was people were reporting being able to query version 5 of Midjourney. Where 3 was like very beautiful, stylish, sort of like neon color sort of twists, with a very consistent lady face, Miss Journey. Yeah. Most people have been participating, giving incremental, like upvote, downvote training updates on it. So if we take a look at home, go away, we can see V5 showcase. Some examples. These are pretty interesting. Like, most notably is the sort of material texturization that you can see from a lot of these, because like this looks very much like both 3 and 4 version between the girl character and what we would get from this. This is very new. This sort of precision to like the prompting of it. I had some pretty similar to that from version 4 recently. What are we doing here? Come on. Niji Showcase. This is their sort of anime style. Witchesses? Image Jams? V5 Showcase. Here's a new, very watercolor tattoo style. Vectorite Jam. Ah, yes, and this is what you really get. This kind of, this very kind of like 3D rendering spatial feel to everything. Oh, this is very Jeff Goldblum, The Fly kind of feel, if you ask me, particularly with the textures of it. There's that depth that you think you get a lot of. Like here you can see like the depth coming alive inside of the classic kind of animated view. Like this looks more classic, and that was sort of like depth appended into the structure of it. All of these shadow effects are really quite beautiful on there. Look at this. This freaking cyberspace Batmobile over here. Fucking Mercury Lambo. So yeah, so that begs the question. My dad was asking me to make the Murdoch trial as a photo for him. MJ version 5! How do I do this? MJ version 5, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. MJ version 5. We got a winner. We got a new Midjourney. All right. What are we using new Midjourney for? Throw anything out. What do we got? I'm gonna put. Do I put style high or do I put style very high? I want some style. I want the vibe war demands style. The vibe war demands style. Also, we're going fast mode. We're not saving money today. We are spending all these credits, all the compute hours. It is nice of them to give a like when you run out of compute hours, you can run relax mode when there's no demand. That is sweet of them. Because it's like the GPUs are spun up perpetually to like do their constant human reinforcement learning. So if there's no requests, I imagine it doesn't cost so much to just run it. But I have no idea how the internals of their system work. I'm just making conjecture. Which, if you watch Star Trek, Data was always pretty bad at conjecture. But it seems that Data was not built with a large language model like the holodeck was. Because those things can make up the next thing on the list pretty damn well. Oh, look at this. We've fantasy heavy metal band extreme costumes. Rocking it. Chrome skin. That might be a nip right there. But, yeah. It's wild. Drummer boy in the midst of the Battle of Gettysburg. Thank you, Dancing Ellis. Still looks just like Kiss, you know? Now it's like a weird, like, these are like crowd barriers, but looking like waves parting the Red Sea while like hordes of orcs like hang behind. So this was not very successful, but it's because it's built off of the base, Stable Diffusion. It's probably overfitting the training too a little bit. Not in any like severely poor way, but regardless, need better data, better other stuff. But the good news is it effing works. So we have a product. We have a new mid-journey. Into my vibe generator, we're putting Drummer Boy in the midst of the Battle of Gettysburg. Generate! I think I'm still on DaVinci 3 and not on GPT-4 API yet, but let's see. Look at this. A drummer boy in the midst of the Battle of Gettysburg playing a riveting rhythm to spur the troops on. A magical star-filled night when a violinist plays their soulful tunes to the moon. A time traveler in search of a magical artifact hidden deep within a castle. Floating in a hot air balloon as the sun rises over the Grand Canyon. Nice. I should give them a thumbs up for that one. Summertime jam session at the top of the Eiffel Tower. That's fun. Epic battle between a lost astronaut and a monstrous space dragon. We're doing the drummer boy. Ladies and gentlemen, your round starts now. Now, you can use any one of these models, or we can see how the hell Midjourney V5 works. Let's give it a shot. Imagine. I'm going to conceal my DM history because privacy. Let's say, a tense moment at the Battle of Gettysburg before the first shot is fired, showing a drummer boy keeping tempo and stealing the resolve of the soldiers on either side. Shows resolve of the soldiers. Civil War battle arrangement. Store called oil painting. gruesome battle. Calm before the storm. And I want aspect ratio. Actually, we'll let it be a square, because most Vibe War submissions are all squares. We'll leave it as a square. Though it would be cinematic in like an ultra widescreen, but we'll let it be square. My first version 5 prompt. Let's see how it comes out. I'm gonna take these shoes off. Oh, also you might note I've changed my Vibe War avatar to be my painting of Michelangelo's David wearing sunglasses from my sales website. I've also got to optimize that, but I legit think I can make it to open beta this weekend. That feels kind of insane to say, but I think where you guys can like claiming more territory with a different aspect ratio should be off limits. Okay, that makes sense. Ooh, look at this. It's doing a good job. It looks like it's taking more steps to synthesize it than normal. That or their stuff is flooded, because V5 is like... They all have drums. Aha. Uppercase writes, it makes me think of claiming more play space in Magic the Gathering with a larger playmat, sometimes necessary in some venues. That's interesting. It's not the little drummer, like the main weapon of war is the drum set. Gosh, it's beautiful. All right. I wonder if we can write a lone drummer boy surrounded by armed soldiers. A lone drummer boy surrounded by armed soldiers keeping tempo and we should do something with the color scheme too. Like, this is very good. This looks just like the historical Gone with the Wind style, like paintings. Like in Atlanta, we actually have a historical oil painting made during the Civil War, I believe. And it was painted over, like, it was painted as a cylinder across the whole walls of, like, the house or whatever. And, like, I'm guessing it would just, like, go outside, take a look, paint when he sees there with the troop assortments or that different stuff. This actually does look just like what... This looks just like what Midjourney made. It's so wild. Just this one has too many drums. There's not as many drums in this one. Let's see. With one drum. We got a few mix-ups here. Also, I could change it to very high style. That might be fun. Ooh, you can already see that the landscape is it's getting a little pink and purple over here. Getting a little. Apparently, this is called bisexual lighting. Is the pink and purple scheme? I didn't realize that until after I'd made the site, but 3D rendering of a skeleton showcasing bisexual lighting. Look at this bisexual skeleton. He likes it all. Love is love to him. Or her. You can't see the pelvis. You really don't know the sex of the skeleton. You really couldn't tell. God, this is so funny. Bisexual lighting. It's like, what have I been participating in? Such scandal. Whatever. Everyone's welcome in the vibe war. Bisexuals are fighting their own vibe war. They can bring us notes from the front lines. Look at this. All right, still too many drums in this one. I don't think these guys have drums. He's a little by himself in this one. This is pretty good. So I don't like how they all have drums here, but this top left one is very good. Let's get variations on that. So yeah, this is so cool. So we've got like a clash of styles here because I entered four references. Historical oil painting, 4 style references. Historical oil painting, ink punk graphic design, synthwave color. Oh, I guess that's only 3. And possibly historic... No, yeah, I already said that. Possibly also the Civil War battle arrangement, but... This one looks so interesting. You kind of hope there are more soldiers, but it kind of is more interesting, the sort of serenity of it, right? But I also love... It's like the way the sky came together is not perfect here. Amazing here. Amazing here. Yeah, it added all these drums. So let's just upscale this one as is. Let's get variations in 4 and 2. Although I don't think variations in 2 will tell us much. The drum is too big. This is the right size. It's probably still too big. It's also uneven, bottom and top, but honestly, who cares? This stuff's so much fun. Like, I see a lot of artists when they start playing with this stuff, they like criticize it for being a little too crazy. He looks kind of like he's got a drum kit, like a band or something. Mid-Journey version 5. Version 5 party. This one's got the best cylindrical shape without being deformed, so. He looks the youngest. Maybe he does. I feel like you should render a Civil War soldier as someone who probably has been unfairly cast into this, right? Like a 12-year-old. I think they were 13 when they were being sent out to the lines. These guys look pretty World War I age. That was another example of just way too young. Let's upscale bottom right. This is so great. So we have historically said that it's basically cheating. Oh, sorry to hear about that, uppercase. Sometimes it's... I had one of those earlier today too. Sometimes that's just a glitch in it like generating things, and sometimes... Yeah, I appreciate it. Those are kind of hard to debug. Sometimes there's like a lingering... So I have multiple server instances, so sometimes multiple will like catch the message and it gets dispatched down to different things. We have a clear bias for European continental uniforms here. Cannot get a CW uniform. We got a real pro here. Dancing Horse, are you like a pro seamstress tailor with a historical training for accuracy? See, they keep shutting the model off, but if I did these fast enough, you would actually get them 10 seconds later. Not a pro bit, but is bit is that like a short-term slang for bitch? I recognize my historical dress. Well, thank you, Dancing Horse. Thank you for your commitment to history. That now that the AIs are trying to recreate humanity, we have to hold them to account so that they recreate truthfully instead of just what feels right for the vibe. That's another vibe war. Needing bisexual skeleton. Needing the large language models to actually resemble historical stuff. Yeah. Vibe wars all around. Look at that, bro. He's not really playing a rhythm right now. So maybe we should do one mid-battle, because I definitely prompted that before battle. Let's do tense moment. The battle. All hell broke loose. Dancing Horse says, I'm getting heated over here. Not a professional seamstress, but if I can't get a GDCW Civil War uniform and not the European style out of the system, I might lose faith in our AI future entirely. He's still giving him a whole drum set, except for this one. Yeah, it's still sort of a solo photo. Let's see if we can take the same prompt. And make it the battle. Oh, not before the first shot is fired. Damn it. Oh man, that's cool. This is so cool, but I should remove the style. We should go back to historical. Historical oil painting. We're gonna say, "Amen, brother." Danzig always appreciates the high energy demands for proper AI representation of historical dress periods. So all this week, I have been maintaining my obnoxiously strict diet exercise program, which basically just means I get all my exercise in fasted and then finish with one meal at the end of the day with a keto macronutrient balance. I think it's working. Like today I did row to 5K on a rowing machine, and like halfway through, thank you so much, Dantigar. She wrote, "Good for you." Halfway through, I kind of wanted to. She writes, "I have been eating a lot of cookies." Halfway through, I got this like. So first, I got really hungry around 3 p.m. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go work out. And I did some cardio on the rowing machine. And about halfway in, I just got this deep nausea. I was like, oh my God, like I kind of want to throw up. And she writes, "I am not applying any discipline." I got enough for both of us going right now. And, ooh, Steven Spielberg. Gruesome. Steven Spielberg. Let's see how that goes. What? Gruesome is banned. Brutal imagery depicting the savagery of warfare. I have to type /imagine. Imagine there's no content filters. Oh, and I didn't put the drummer boy. Drummer boy. Uppercase writes, "I had 50, approximately, the tilde key, approximately 50 peanut M&Ms earlier after my wings and fries and Coke." I'll make some wings too sometimes, even on my keto diet. I think it's cheating though. Like it's deep fried in that canola oil, so it's like that seed oil kind of messes you up. And then the blue cheese is not really blue cheese. The blue cheese is also seed oil, like made to taste like it with some bits of added here and there. But it's all good. And then he writes, 18 intermittent fasting plus 3 good workouts a week makes up a lot of ground now. That's interesting. So 18. So that's like short. Is that narrowing your eating window to a 6-hour period? So eating once at noon and once at 6, and then the rest very strict. Mine's very like that. I'm doing like OMAD at the moment. So this one has the drummer boy. This one does not. This one just finished. Oh man, very, very bleak colors, which is kind of to be expected. But look at these hands. There are some glitches here, but like, this is remarkable. This looks like, oh, you even got like bodies. This guy looks like he's talking on a radio, like they even had those. But like, uppercase writes, yes, the 6-hour eating window. Big upswing in ketone production in the last couple of hours from what I understand. Very interesting. It's like its ability to create this composition, to like take this historical fort. Look at this. This is a Civil War painting right here. Gone with the Wind shit. With like a Lord of the Rings intensity to it, because like you can see like the massive army sort of like patterns. Classic trenches. 2 weeks ago I was hiking up the Kennesaw Mountain historical Civil War battlefield. This is amazing. I haven't tried this kind of composition before, but there's very few things to be upset with at this. Like, this is peculiar, but it could still make sense. Like, this could be two people. Like, the way his head doesn't exactly work, but he could be ducked all the way down and this like somebody else. This is very few glitches. Yeah, this is fine work. Ooh, we have an update. See, it's so ugly, like despite being amazing, you know? Processing, good. We caught it before it turned back off, so this will come up in about 10 seconds. Yeah, like kind of risque. It looks so weird. I want to make another one with starting from the open journey model, and hopefully that comes out to a nicer style. I already had my Fantasy Vibe Celsius today. That's empty. Ooh, and here's it with the drummer boy. These are interesting. There's a drum there. He's having a day. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to use a bayonet, but this looks like a collage. It looks like it's like photoshopped in as sort of a piece like in the middle there. Yikes. This is Saving Private Ryan here with like severed limbs and stuff. I did add directed by Steven Spielberg to it. Here, very oil paint Bob Ross. Like you can see the strokes. Got drums though. So let's put 0 hour, 9 a.m. and I'm gonna be high. Yes, I cried by then. Golden hour, synthwave, color scheme. What style? Vector artwork. Let's see how vectors look. Ooh, let's put plasticine model figures staged on tabletop. On a tabletop. wonder how it does. I feel like someone like assembling like all the little things. I had one ex during the pandemic who, when we she went and added everyone as an admin. Maybe I should have taken out historical oil painting, but maybe they'll clash in a fun way. Who knows? Mid-Journey bot number 9282. Oh man, it's pulling it off. It's giving it like that real depth of field style, it looked like. Is that a normal sized dude like painting the tiny figures? That's weird. This is interesting. Look at this. It is! This is a normal sized dude painting. That's weird. This is neat. Because like you can see like the straw that's like normal size that is being presented as tiny so it feels too big. Oh, look at that background. Got an arm like there. Yeah, these berries are trying to simulate blood. I'm blaming the Steven Spielberg prompt. So I'm really thrilled with this. Not my favorite yet. I'll give it time for one more. But I'm going to guess everyone's already submitted by now and are like, Max, we're waiting on you. So I'm going to put, once again, ink punk graphic design style. I was right. Everyone has a submission. I want to say this last one. And then, oh, Dancing Horse says, hold on, I got one more thing to try. Cool. I'm glad. I'm glad we're all taking our sweet time on this. I'm having fun testing the limits of Midjourney. Like, new version. It doesn't feel yet as dramatic as the 3 to 4 switch, but I've never seen like full scene composition like this before in a really great way. Of course, I don't know if I've ever asked it for that before, but this is when I was asking for homeless artist. This was kind of like that. Gosh, these chrome metallic roses. Let's do this one again. I really love that. Waiting to start. How come my metallic roses are going faster in this one? Maybe because the words give it more complexity or something. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think the workout's having an impact. Like I had a really sizable scale difference today for the first time in a while, and I don't know. It feels to me like my cheeks are a little less fat today, just a tad. Can feel the buccal fat, like starting to disappear, without getting the weird surgery that girls get now to look like they're heroin addicts. That was mean. But you know what I mean? This thing, this like face pointy ner right here. It's at the right angle it looks awesome, and at the wrong angle it kind of looks like you're kind of a deformed mannequin or something, like maybe the contouring could have done the job instead of needing like the whole physics of it, but all good. Yeah, this really does have like this depth element that wasn't in the other one. Like the style plus depth. Of course, I've also altered the style input, but so this one is making the mistake of this one again. We'll let it cook. This is great, but there's no drum. This is good, but I like the burning stuff. This is interesting. It's like having a hard time clashing the styles together. Very fun. I think I'm happy with my submission. Yeah. Well, there's no other soldiers. That's fine. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, these are some pretty ones. I know how you feel, Uppercase. I had a few near misses myself. But it looks like everyone's ready, so let's advance. Ooh. Okay, very cool. This is like modern warfare, right? This is like kid showed up to a battle in his t-shirt. Thought it was a party. Didn't realize it was going to be a mess. This guy, he doesn't know what he's in for. Kind of sad. This is the most Gettysburgian. This is super interesting though. Mid-journey. I'm gonna pick Soldier Boy. We got a vote from everyone except for... There we go. Vote from all players was in. It says we have one spectator, but I don't know if that's... Well, if we do, welcome. I should do a thing to view all the spectator names. But anyway, finish voting. We have 2 votes to Dancing Horse, 1 vote to me, and none to Linked Out. Sorry, Linked Out. Congratulations, Dancing Horse, on the 2 votes here. Thank you for the vote over here. And Linked Out, I really love how this came together as this yeah, it feels very like industrial rust paint kind of thing. I have a feeling on the near misses, dude. Alright, so I'm in a bit of a bind in that I promised something for work that I'd finish today, and I haven't finished it yet. So, I'm stoked that we're having a good time here, but I think I'm going to do one more with the Midjourney stuff and then call it a day. But it's been a good like hour so far, like talking about different stuff and going through the other stuff, but I wanted to do coffee. Yeah, post-apocalyptic drummer boy for sure. We did spend a lot of time, but it was good. It had a real power to it as a vibe. I want coffee and what do you got for just coffee? Because that one time we did that psychedelic coffee thing. That was very fun. Early morning rush hour with commuters sipping coffee from paper cups. Coffee shop, mystical and inviting, filled with murmur of conversations. Solitary barista, handcrafting a slow pour over. Just coffee. Just coffee. The peaceful gardens of a coffee estate on summery day. Ooh. Coffee-fueled night out. Coffee. Awash with laughter and good vibes. Good vibes. Studying late into the night, accompanied by the aroma of freshly roasted beans. I think Midjourney can do some really cool stuff with this. A coffee shop, mystical and inviting, filled with the murmur of conversations. Oops. My brain is getting a little wiped. This is my VW day, not my Veterans of Foreign Wars day. That's nice. It's a little too... It's not perfect, but it's nice. Midjourney V5! Leaning back. Yeah, I'm not gonna let my hair down. Second attempt is not safe for work? Shoot. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, this coffee shop, if they're censoring this coffee shop, there might be some foul play at this coffee shop. That's what I'm saying. This might be after hours at the coffee shop, invite only, right? Maybe in the back room. Yeah, it's not just the beans getting roasted over here, or Some people bring their gentlemen and they get their beans roasted. Maybe that's their thing. I don't know. I don't know. But I can imagine a coffee shop where, 18 plus only. This is so cool. It's even got a loft. This is funny because this is like a fusion between like an antique home with literal ivy growing on the inside. Like with someone's like home office. This is beautiful. The detail is unreal. I like the loft. This is very much Beauty and the Beast library. It's got the library ladder. This is a fantasy coffee shop for some people. Oh, and this one's got all the doodads. It's got places to sit, but like there's no one here, and it already is almost out of seating, like most coffee shops. I always feel like there's never enough seating in a coffee shop. That's how I feel. People like there all day. Oh, and they all have Edison bulbs. With those like a sort of old timey incandescents. Yeah, all of them. Let's get specific. Imagine a mystical, magical coffee shop, the world of Harry Potter, where student wizards gossip and study, working on their potion craft and spells. Couple on a date. Psychedelic atmosphere with magical smoke. Filled with the murmur of conversations. I'm excited to see the Harry Potter effect on this. I hope I didn't get too specific. I hope it doesn't stray too much from this photography style because I really do love what it created in the first coffee shop, and I hope the Harry Potter thing, since it's not like animated, since it's like normal acted, that it'll have that same aesthetic. I got a bisexual one up in this corner. But yeah, so like I've got this one belt that I bought when I was thin, and I was a few notches in, and now I'm on the last notch. And for a while, like I could feel it getting tight on that last notch. It was like digging some space out of that notch. Now that notch is sitting okay. So now we gotta squeeze the inches a little bit every day. This is nice. Oh my God, this is beautiful. So I love these scenery. But they don't have people, so they don't pass the prom. This one especially. All these chandeliers, I love them. This one's a little too boring. This is very This is very English pub. I have been to York, England. It's it feels like Harry Potter's real, like all the buildings are that old style. They even have like a castle church there. Gosh, what's it called? The Minster. It was closed for renovations while I was visiting, but it was a very nice place. They have this old lookout tower there. It's kind of funny. I remember seeing, I didn't see that either, but I remember seeing ads for it. And there was a bunch of ads for Viking style stuff, which apparently, like, they had started kind of like that style. This is what it looks like there. These houses where the second floor darts up into the street. That's because they were paying taxes on the square footage of the bottom floor. And so they built the second and third floors like with more space in order to pay less tax. It's so weird. But yeah, I've been down this alley. It's very much, that was very Harry Potter like. So let's run this again. Busy hour. Busy hour, yeah. And just also the same thing again. I have a spare shower rod. I got one doorway where there's not a door. It goes into my side clothes closet. And they used to hang a sheet from there before I moved in. But I don't have a sheet there now. But, and also, Vybor has become the center of a small community. We do have a quote for the page if you still want one. That's lovely, Uppercase. I like it a lot. I will add it to the sales site. Hopefully it becomes actionable to for people to join these games and also to run their own for their own friends. Gosh, it's funny because the more details it crams in, like the more opportunities for errors that pop in. So, like we can see some of like the face glitches that we see in like the other Stable Diffusion models, but because they're so far away, it doesn't clash. You know, we're more bewildered by the setting. God, these are beautiful. Like imagine hanging out here. Like for real. Freaking Sistine Chapel energy on the roof right here. Jeez. Copy this down. Uppercase, I am taking a note. Also, I'm changing this endpoint so it's not as easy to steal people's stuff. Nice. Ooh. This is great. Ooh, illustration style. All right, so I want to pick one with people in it. So it's either going to be Busy Hour added like no one. Okay, Mid-Journey, get it together. Psychedelic atmosphere. That went a long way. Really interesting. All right, I'm probably going to make my final selection out of one of these prompts that I've made so far. Yeah, this is going to be our final round. I couldn't think of anything other than coffee, so my brain is it's a little cooked, but just a teens. I'm so glad you guys joined. And like week to week all the time. Oh my god. It is great having a little bitty family. A little bit of community. It's a very fun challenge. Dancing Horse, do you mean the rounds we did today, or do you mean like the weekly check-in with the prompting? I'm guessing you mean the weekly prompting challenge, because you followed that up with sometimes you regale us with stories of heartbreak, and it's like, here, let's witness Maximilien Robespierre be a hopeless romantic in his reign of terror against his own heart. And then, it's my Twitter name is Maximilian Robes. My Twitch name probably says Maximus Groves. I'm only fake anon, but reign of terror. And so, yeah, I actually saw Sarah yesterday. For dinner, everyone who was taking private classes with her put a group chat together, and we all went to this it's like real upscale sort of fusion, fine Italian crossed with pizza place, and a kind of interesting fusion there. They had a steak on the menu, so I was able to stay keto. It was a really good ribeye too. Really exceptionally done. Here we go. Crowded. That's what I'm talking about. That's a coffee shop. And yeah, we were sitting together. It was about eight of us at the table. It was a really sweet time. I knew we wouldn't really have like a private moment there, but she had us all volunteer something we were excited about upcoming in our lives, something we were looking forward to. She's very much like this. She's that like exceptional sort of like social leader, you know, like wanting to bring out sort of like the charm in everyone. So in these like little prompts like that. This one's too pub, but it's good. This one's wonderful, but it's a little too abstract. This is also pub, but I love these globes. Oh, this looks more interesting than this one, so I'll probably do this one. Oh, this is like a greenhouse. Look at that. Indoor ivy and stuff. And so she asked us all, oh my god, it's instantaneous upscale? I didn't have to wait at all for that. This is a terrible background, guys. Like, I know you probably worked real hard on this ASCII art, but this doesn't reveal your product at all. Like, I know it's magic. I know it's diffusion models. I know the text embeddings like interact this way. You don't make a large language model. This works for ChatGPT. You make artwork. But you made a new one. It looks nice. Congratulations. It looks lovely. I would recommend something else. Maybe top right looks better zoomed in. Anyway, and so, yeah, you came for the heartbreak, didn't you? And I keep distracting back to the game instead of getting deep into it. So, just kind of give me bits of bait. And so, so the entire evening was extremely nice. And yeah, I'm gonna do this one. Save. This is just download. All right, it does. And so they got to me and was like, "What are you looking forward to?" I was like, "Oh, your app." It was like, so she didn't expect, because I had mentioned that I think I can release this as of next week. And so she goes, "Okay, you're excited for your app." We go around the table and we get back around, and then everyone's like, "Max didn't go," and I was like, "Well, we're talking about the app." He's like, "Yeah, come on, Max, you got something else." And that's so I just volunteered that I had tickets to see this band that I've been a fan of since they had participated on the soundtrack to BioShock Infinite. It was called Postmodern Jukebox, where they'll remix like club hip hop and pop songs so that they make sense for like a big band. Oh yes, and Dancing Horse is a fan of Postmodern Jukebox. It sounds like, and so I've already seen them in concert 4 times. Like, I'm a huge fan. And last year it was sort of at the apex of her and I getting to know each other, and like I'd asked her out then, and she's like, "I can't." Yeah, it's like a policy, and it was. And that's when things started to get kind of weird, because it's like I'm being a little more like needier here when I'm like doing all this, but regardless. And so I'd asked her to go out with me there, like at the end of our lesson, like 2 weeks ago, and this was that same one where I was describing just feeling like the like real intensity of it, and her kind of like looking like into my eyes as if she's like trying to like read the fullness of my art, right? Like it's like are you just toying with me here, or like is it, and like there was no doubt, and inside of me like it was the most conviction like I've ever had, like in recent memory at least. And so we got back around to me around the table, and I just volunteered that I am actually looking forward to a few things. I've got a concert coming up that I'm going to a band. Did this not work? Huh. Midjourney, your thing doesn't download correctly. Maybe you need to hire a web developer to take care of that for you. I don't know. Yes, replace it. Now it works. There it is. Submit. It's in there. There we go. It is kind of funny uploading it. It's reading it from your hard disk, and it's like, oh, it's there. Then you hit submit, and it's like, where'd it go? It's like, oh, it's downloading it from the back end now. It's got to go. Anyway, we got 3 in. And so I volunteered at the table that I was really looking forward to seeing this band called Postmodern Jukebox, and everyone was like, "Oh, I think I heard of them," and they're all like, kind of, "Huh, you know, interesting," and talking amongst themselves, you know. And Sarah was like, she was like, "I remember you asking me to see that," and I said, "Can you make it?" And she's like, "I think so," and I'm like, "Well, it's this day. Are you free?" She's like, "I think I will be." And I pulled up the group chat. I was like, "This is your number, right?" She's like, "Yeah, save that." And I'm like, "Okay." So it looks like we're gonna go. And yeah, we're gonna make it. Well, we're gonna make it is like, I don't know if we're gonna make it, right? But we're gonna go. So I got a date with my crush, so that's nice. I managed somehow to successfully lure her to see her own favorite band. Amazing. How did that ever work, right? But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be sweet. So that's Dancing Horse writes. Everyone's being praised, writing, "Oh wow, awesome! Whoa, yeah, that's really cool." Dancing Horse writes, "Yeah, that's like the entire dating game." It's like, right. Oh, hello, I'm this stranger you happen to actually know pretty well and can make pretty easy judgments on their character, and they're just, casually saying, "Oh, this thing that you actually would love to go to, how about with me? Let me think that over." Convincing someone to go have fun with you, which they will have fun. Yeah, it's funny. Tell me more about dating. How long have you guys been married? Well, you guys are more recently in the game, right? Like, it's not like someone in their 50s being like, "Oh, when we were recording, or something like that." So yeah, we're the same age. It's all good. I met my high school. This is too funny. That's the exact opposite of what I was describing. Dancing Horse is being here like, "Yep, that's dating. That's what dating's like." Oh, I mean, I've never dated as an adult. I got married to my high school boyfriend. Well, okay, I don't know the full story. That might not be true. You might have known each other in high school and then decided down the line, maybe we were right for each other, right? Like, I remember at my high school, there was this, there was two couples. They were always hanging out together. The tall blonde who was really good at tennis and soccer with Patrick Barden, who was a really goofy, cool guy on the wrestling and football teams. And then they would hang out with, forgot who the other guy was. And he was dating Allie. Super chill, gorgeous girl. When she posted pregnant photos on Facebook, she got like 500 likes just because of how gorgeous she looked, like while having like, a pregnant stomach. And like, she was like, "I was so creeped out. Why is there this much attention on me?" It was a funny moment. But like, Patrick was dating the blonde girl, and Allie was dating the other guy. But 2 years out of college, Patrick and Allie are getting married. So, so that's just an example of, you can marry someone from high school without necessarily having been high school sweethearts. It's more like, "Oh, look at that, a chance to pair up like that." But anyway, I'm gonna hit judging round. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, this looks like a Dolly submission. Nice. And ooh, this is interesting. Oh, wow. So, like, when I was making the miniature Civil War models one, this is like the same thing, but with like burlap sacks of coffee beans. Yeah, you can see the beans. And the model people. That's awesome. Oh, these are so cool. This is psychedelic, kind of mystical. This is like a magic spell has taken hold of the place, right? It's like there'll be that episode of like some show where they give some weird plot reason that the whole thing is stop motion now. Like they would do that in Community all the time, and it was like an explanation that like Abed is having a psychotic break or something, and so he's only seeing the world as claymation instead of as like real stuff. I need to text her, follow up, tell her which day it is, and gosh, there was one time. There was a girl I liked, and she wasn't really interested, but I would like text her. I wouldn't get anything back. A few days later, I would text her. A few days later, I would text her, and eventually she was like, "Get the hint. I'm not interested." I'm like, "Oh, sorry." Yeah. So now it's like, it was probably more obnoxious than I'm presenting it right now, so now I've got a small texting phobia, right? I don't want to like be like nagging on that side, but you can't have an upkeep of that relationship without like idle chit chat, like texting back and forth. So you have to do it, and you can't take it personally if it's like not responding, but you can't like disappear if they're not engaging, because it's a low commitment thing anyway. And people, if they are interested, they'll like put that forward, but at the same time it's like it's easy to make them lose interest by like what you text. So like texting feels very fraught. It's like it's not that playful. It just needs to stay playful, stay fun. Dancing Horse writes, I actually really like those silly episodes, like 30 Rock did one for the Muppets. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna vote for the burlap, because this is like a Muppets episode on 30 Rock, and so let's do it. Finish. Burlap was yours, Dancing Horse. Well, awesome job. Uppercase. Love the Rainbow Shop. This psychedelic place looks gorgeous. I just talked myself into the burlap one because of the TV discourse, and also because it looks absolutely gorgeous, Dancing Horse. So, but look at this, total tie. Ah, look at this. I'm sneaky. And it was Stable Diffusion. Ah. Nice work, Stable Diffusion. And nice work, Uppercase. And nice work, Dancing Horse. I love this abstraction. And nice work, Midjourney. V5 is fun. LSD, Lisa Frank. I like it. I feel the vibes. Lisa Frank, so you start coloring outside the line, or LSD to make Lisa Frank color outside the lines, right? Like get a little swirly on that. All right, guys, thank you for playing with me. Oh, quick note. I fixed this. So now it lists all the games we've ever played. And if we look at the very first one, which I think this was a Sunday, actually. It was sort of like a demo where two people had dropped in when I, like, zero notice, had started putting some things together. And what's interesting about it is that it lists almost exactly 6 months ago to today. To 3 days from now, it'll be 6 months. And in 1 week, it'll be the first Wednesday in 6 months. We had 10 folks from that. I think this was the one where Brooke came on, because we had Dancing Horse's first event and a few others in this one. That's what got you people? Got me people? You mean Brooke? I'm not sure. Oh, you had Greg Rakowski and then people were added to the scene. Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. Gift to soon. Gosh. I think I was doing some... Look at these. I think I was doing some Midjourney for this one. Oh, we had musical sleep that early. I didn't realize. Which one was mine? Right here. So, I would say that 6 months to grind on a weekend project and not get to market is a little bit too long. But I really think I can just call this like version 1.0 done and live this weekend. I just have to I have to swap the Stripe endpoints to the production sales version, not the demo version. I have to write the account provisioning on the recurring subscription model when it hits my endpoint when billed from the Stripe side. And I have to optimize the images on Vibor.ai so they don't take 10 seconds to load with that white screen right there, which will be easy. I'll just swap this out for an optimized background. And it's done. So six months in and we can be hands-off in development and just focus on new side game prototypes so that we don't have to prompt every round. Like a friend asked me for a ChatGPT based Cards Against Humanity game, and that would be. I started on it. It's super easy to make. We're gonna add that as one of the game choices round to round, and or even make that as the means to how the categories are drawn. You know, instead of like that whole typing a genre in, or just get them set up that way. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up my work commitment stuff that I've sort of neglected. But thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great having a little community. I was happy I could update you on some little romance tidbits. Uppercase writes, no, just ship. You're right. Gonna ship. And good game, good night. Thanks and good night from Uppercase and Dungeon Course. Absolutely. Same to the both of y'all. We're going to end this game. And it's been good, guys. We're gonna make this real. We're gonna do it.